everyone, it's Rich Antonelli, and today I'm going to be talking about a really cool piece of gear that I discovered at NAMM 2018 this past January. Now, if you've been following my YouTube channel or my podcast, you've been hearing me talk about this steering wheel type of piece of gear. It looks like a car steering wheel. Well, it came in. This is it. It's the Integral Closed Miking System from SAM Systems. Now, they are based in the UK, and I just picked this up. I came the other day. I did an unboxing live on my YouTube stream, if you want to check that out. But today is only going to be me showing you guys how this thing gets installed. I'm going to be using a Marshall 412, your basic 1960 with, you know, Celestion 75s in it, closed back. And you can also put this in a 112, 212, 1912. I know they don't exist, so maybe they do, but you can put it in with any speaker. It comes in 10-inch size and 12-inch, so obviously in the Marshall, this is the 12-inch size. There's two different ways. If you have an open back, I'll kind of mention that later on. It's easier to use. You can use Velcro, you can screw it in. But with the closed back, and rather than going through the back of the cabinet, and because you have to drill a hole, rather than going through the back and possibly making a mistake and then having to replace the whole back of your cabinet, they suggested to go through the side plastic handles. So if you mess up, it's not really a lot out of your pocket. You can just replace the handle at any guitar parts store. So I'm going to do that today. So I'm talking a little too much as usual, so let's get going. Here we go. Alright, so we got the cabinet open. Got the Celestion 75s in here, and I went with the upper, I guess if you're looking at it, the upper left speaker. So now I need to take the speaker out. So now we're going to put the Integral into the space. And you have to make sure, I'm going to show you, make sure that this cable right here is in this little slot. Very important, because you don't want to get it snagged inside there. So let's do this again. I'm going to put this on. And you need to put the speaker back in. I found it easier to kind of get one going a little first. Takes a little work to get it, but once they're all lined up, everything should be fine. Now I'll take my drill, slowly put these screws back in. And I'll probably hand tighten them. You don't want to crack it. So I'm going to hand tighten it. I always do one. Anything I tighten, obvious. I do the opposite. I don't go in a row, because then that kind of throws it off a little bit. Now they say in the manual occasionally you'll need slightly longer screws, but I'm finding that these seem to be holding pretty good. That's in there. Alright, now we're at the part here where I'm going to drill a hole into my cabinet. Now, you can either do it through the back of the cabinet, which I'm not going to do because if I mess up, it's gonna cost a little bit more to replace a whole back of a cabinet. So it was suggested that you could also go in through the carry handle, which is plastic. If it breaks or something messes up, just buy one of these at one of those online parts stores. It's not going to cost as much as a back would if I mess up. So, all right. So I have the speaker with the integral is on this side. I'm going to go through this here. Now they in the manual it says to use a 25mm drill bit, chisel bit, whatever. I couldn't find anything in millimeters, so 25mm is just under an inch. So I have this, and I'm going to use this as an inch. And I definitely do this first. I tested it out on this junky piece of wood, and I was able to get the housing, everything through. I fed it through. I'll show you once I get this installed here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get my drill bits, and I'm going to just use I don't know, probably like a 5/64 drill bit, 5/64 inch drill bit, just to get it started. All right, see, it's not anything major, it's just a small piece. So I'm gonna start. Now remember, this is plastic, obviously, so you don't wanna have this going too fast. All right, so I have my hole started. You probably can't see that on the camera. Always put your drill bits back where they were, because I learned in the past that they get lost very easily, so I put that back all the time. Here we go. It's plastic, so you don't want to go too fast, because if you do, you're going to end up cracking the whole thing. So I was going a little slow there just to try to get it through. And as far as going through plastic, you do have to be careful, like I said, because you're going to get pieces fraying. But I got a pretty good hole here. You can probably see it. So hey, there's my thumb. Put my thumb through. So this is where you're going to plug in your XLR. Coming from your PA is going to go right there. Simple. You can just hook it onto the handle. I'm going to have to vacuum after, but that's a story for another day. So now, this is what you want to do next. So if you remember, we had this piece on the end of it. And what you need to do is take this housing off. Now, if you have an open back cab, you leave this housing on, you can actually just Velcro it to the side. I don't know if you can see that. Velcro it to the side, and if the cab is open, very simple. You don't have to do any drilling or anything. It's all set to go. Since this is not an open back cab, I took it out of the housing. Now, so this is it right here. This is what it looks like. You want to be very careful with these wires. What they send you is this extra piece that's in the box, another housing, and it comes with the screw to actually attach it together this way. And you're going to need, I'm not sure if I have any, I might have to go out and buy some. So for the sake of this video, you'll see how it goes. It's got to get screwed in through the other side. I'm going to have to get some screws meant for plastic and not wood screws to go into this. So what you have to do is you take this. I'm going to turn the cabinet. I say take it, and you want to feed it through. So there it is, it's coming out right there. Make sure all these wires look good. You don't want to do anything to these wires. Then you want to take one end of the housing and you want to seat it in there. So when you seat it through, you want to make sure that you can see the hole, because if you have the wires obviously over the hole and you screw this thing back together, you're going to go right through the wire. So you want to get the top part on now. Make sure everything's nice and snug in the right spots. And in the little bag that comes in the box, there's one screw that will go into one of the little holes here. And I need to grab, you need a really small headed screwdriver, because these screws are very small. You want to get this closed the best you can, but don't over tighten it. Just enough so that this stays closed. Yeah, that's pretty good right there. So now this is, I'll let this hang so you can see it. And then all you do is you push it through, and I just have to get a couple of screws to fix this to that. Like I said, I'm gonna need plastic screws. I don't have any on hand. I probably should have had some, but I looked through all my stuff, and what I want to do is also smooth some of this out, this plastic. Use my fingers to do it. It actually made a pretty good cut, so I'm happy with that. But that's it. You get to a gig, your sound guy goes to mic up your cabinet. He doesn't need to. You just throw the XLR right here. You can, like I said, you can wrap it around the handle so it doesn't just hang, and there's no like undue weight put on it, pressure. Well, there you have it, my installation video for the Integral close miking system from Sam Systems. Now, you don't have to be a guitar player to actually own these. You can be a sound man that owns his own cabinets, or even better, a backline company that has a bunch of cabinets that you rent out to various people. Buy a bunch of these, install them into your cabinets, and let them know how it works, and it's going to save them time on setting up mics in front of the cabinets and get their show off the ground that much faster. Watch for a video demo coming up, or possibly a live stream of how this thing actually works and how it sounds. The best way to actually judge this is to use it in a live situation. Going through even here I have a small studio. Going through a small studio, a small interface, is not going to give you the best representation of what this sounds like. You're going to need to do it in a live situation. So I'm going to do the best I can, but best of luck to the guys at Integral. As it says from Guitar Interactive right here, utter genius. Really cool product. Glad I met the guys, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.